Hi there, and welcome to Sunshinery. I'm Jackie, and today we'll be going over the Without a Crystal Ball and Preacherboys incident that happened on May 18th and May 19th. We'll be going over some of the video, some of the tweets, and everything that happened in between. Hope you enjoy! It all started on May 18th when KJ decided to go live and talk about the IBLP. When suddenly KJ noticed someone in her chat.
Oh, Preacherboys! Oh my God, Preacher Boy, can we do a collab? Because I have heard that you are phenomenal, and I would love to do something with you. All of my subscribers have told me over and over and over again how amazing you are.
Preacherboys Eric decided to join the live with KJ, and here's a few short clips.
And I'll be honest, it's scary a little bit for me to talk to men from the IFB because some of the guys that have left, even though they've left the cult, they still have incredibly misogynistic views of women.
Yeah.
And they can be incredibly abusive when you speak to them. And it's like, I get freaked out when I get up. I'm so glad you're nice. I mean, I know that not all the guys are terrible, but it's so scary because it breeds misogyny.
Yeah. So
it's incredible the database that you've been able to put together. It's incredible, what you're trying to do, almost in a way, writing whatever wrongs in a way. I feel like a lot of times people have a little bit of guilt when they realize they've been part of something like this.
Yeah.
Which you don't really, I don't know. It's weird. You shouldn't have to feel guilty. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, but it's hard not to.
They chatted about different religions and the different beliefs in them. He talked about his experience, and it ended with KJ saying,
"So fun. I love him. I forgot to ask him what's his name again? I didn't even get his name. That was amazing."
After the Instagram live, KJ, of course, went to Twitter. Here's what she had to say. I want to thank Preacher Boy for joining me on my Instagram live. His podcast has been instrumental in working to dismantle the IFB cult and exposing all the abuse that happens within this group. Also, I'm covering a cult. The abuse in the cult. The Duggars just happen to be the most famous members of the cult. If you are okay with men beeping women, abusing children, and covering up crimes, then don't watch. I'm going to do my best to expose this cult for what it is. Here were some replies under this last tweet from KJ. Pink says, Katie's work on exposing this cult is actually causing lifelines to go dark for people wanting to leave. She is causing more harm. At this point, it's not about just not liking her. It's about stopping her from doing damage. Big difference. Purple says, well, if you can provide me with some proof of this very hefty claim, then please do. I'll wait. If you can produce proof that KJ has single-handedly impeded someone in their escape, I will definitely take that into consideration. Pink says, first off, exposing the people trying to leave endangers them. It causes avenues for help to go dark because they are afraid of getting caught. So no, I will not be naming names here. Katie is not qualified to speak to potential victims. She can't provide mental health help, legal help, or advice, access to legal assistance, or assist them in maintaining anonymity. She has never bothered to even find resources to help. She lures them in saying she wants to help, but all she does is monetize their story for money. She has been called out for years by professionals in the legal field, mental health field for this, and they have asked her to first point them in the direction of help, allow them to get a chance to know their rights, make appropriate arrangements. Pink continues with, and after a cooling down, decide if they still want to go to media or bloggers to share their experience. Katie doesn't point them to help because she wants to ensure she gets her money first. Finally, after 3 years of Katie harming and harassing various groups and organizations of people, not isolated to fundamentalists, she is now noting she is not an advocate and cannot help, and she is starting to link resources after 3 years of exploiting victims. Just because someone doesn't agree with her tactics does not make them a troll or a hater. I'm concerned for the people she uses or has used. I watched her lie literally right on camera. I have seen her treat people so poorly, it is shocking. Look at today. Preacher Boy did his own research, came to his own conclusions, and answered to his supporters so that they knew he had heard them, done his own research, and decided to distance himself from Katie. Katie's response by saying he won't respond to me. He produced receipts of his responses to her, so her next move is to go to social media and make disgusting comments about him. She is a vindictive, money-obsessed narcissist. Do your research. Those replies came the next day after Eric put out a statement. We are not sure if anyone contacted Eric or if he just decided to look into KJ and do his own research on the different things she has said and the things she does to help and teach people about the IBLP. But the next day, he puts out a tweet with a statement regarding the live. Here it is. Regarding the Without a Crystal Ball live yesterday. Regarding the Without a Crystal Ball live video I joined yesterday. I have done research since I appeared. KJ's methods historically have been incredibly problematic, and I am disappointed in myself for not doing what I always do, which is research before I do share a platform with anyone. I didn't expect to be called on to join her for the live and didn't think anything of it. I just wanted to encourage who I thought was a fellow advocate. I have never communicated before with her. It makes me sick to my stomach to think I misread the situation or sent the wrong message to anyone. Please know I'm extremely new to her content and am not a fan of the tactics I've since discovered she utilizes. I will not be hosting her on my show. My credibility and the credibility of those I partner with is important to me. Preacherboys also posted that on Instagram too, where KJ replied saying, I am not problematic. You are listening to haters. Preacherboys doc. She blocked me shortly after leaving this comment. KJ put out a response to this on IG Live. Here are a few clips.
You do this to me, you haters, because you want other creators to get the leads. You don't want me to have any success. And so you're going to harass these smaller creators who he doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve to be harassed and bullied into believing I'm a shitty person because you don't like me. This is what you've been doing for 2 years, and it's insane. It's insanity. I have no ulterior motives with doing this work. I stick to myself all the time. I put hours upon hours upon hours into my work, and I care about what I cover passionately. I have spent more hours on this story than I have spent on anything else in the last month because there are so many victims and survivors that want to be heard. And I could be doing anything else, and I'm focusing on this because this matters to me. And the fact that you have gone to a smaller creator and harassed and bullied him into believing that I'm a piece of shit, shame on you. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not upset by him putting that statement out because it's bullshit. Like, I wish he would have come to me and talked to me, but he didn't. He got feedback. He probably got bullied. He probably got put into a corner where he felt like the intensity was so severe that he couldn't connect to me because he's a small channel. I'm going to respond because what they've done to him is not fair. You shouldn't go to a creator that's literally doing good work and then saying to them that I'm doing something wrong. And then having that person feel like that they can't work with me because you guys are so psychotic.
Again, we don't know if anyone contacted him. And KJ forgets, people can do their own research.
His own worst research probably included a Reddit that is full of bullshit that is not true about me. His research probably included videos that are not true about me. I don't have tactics that are underhanded, that are at all problematic in this. All I do is I talk to people. All of these people that end up backing out, they all say the same thing. I did my own research. I know what these troll accounts send them. He sends them to the Reddit on Without a Crystal Ball, which is filled with bullshit. And the guy I had on yesterday was harassed and bullied.
Here comes the lies.
And if you can be so easily manipulated still and come to a conclusion, if you've come from a cult, listen to me and hear me on this, preacher boy. If you've come from a cult where you were taught your whole life not to think critically, and then someone came into your DMs and told you about me, and then you did your research probably based on what they sent you, you've got a long way to go still before you're actually thinking critically. I'm not a perfect person, but I don't use problematic tactics. And if you would have just come to me, it wouldn't have had to be like this. It's so unfortunate. You're doing a good job. You're doing good work. Keep doing that. Keep doing the work that you're doing. And don't burn bridges with people based on hearsay and false statements of others. Come to the source and talk to them before you make a very public statement like slandering someone.
Now that she is done making up assumptions, here she is lying about what was said in the live that night.
Man on my platform that might have abused his wife or hurt his sister or participated in the abuse of women and children. And I said that to him because the men in this cult are dangerous. And it's hard to know which ones are going to be real and honest or who are doing something to clear their name. When he was on my live, I asked him why he was so compelled to do this. I said, are you compelled to do this because you participated in this cult and did bad things? Are you trying to almost right a wrong? And he said, yes, that he was bringing people into this cult, that he was part of the problematic beliefs, that he contributed to that, and that he wants to expose that. But the problem is, when people do that, sometimes they don't do the work they need on themselves to realize that they still are not treating women well. Because this cult doesn't value or respect women, and when you've been learned your whole life not to value or respect women, you're not going to value or respect someone who's a peer when you find out something about them that you don't like.
None of that was mentioned. In this last clip, KJ says he was clear, he saw research. Actually, all it said was again, I have done research since I appeared. KJ's methods historically have been incredibly problematic, and I am disappointed in myself for not doing what I always do, which is research before I do share a platform with anyone. Please know I'm extremely new to her content and am not a fan of the tactics I've since discovered she utilizes. I will not be hosting her on my show.
It was clear in his statement that he saw research about me that literally isn't true or accurate, and he didn't speak to me about it. And he was probably directed to sources that are also false. And again, if you're going to have a career in this world, if you're going to listen to trolls instead of actually speaking to the people that you've spoken to and giving them the benefit of the doubt, you're not going to build relationships that are lasting and effective. You're going to be easily manipulated by the trolls.
After KJ's IG Live, Preacherboys put out another tweet regarding everything. This statement is inaccurate. I had 3 to 4 missed messages. The previews were apologies for her haters coming after me. When I opened the message, she had unsent those and instead called me misogynistic. I responded politely. She sent a few more messages, then blocked me.
I'm not going to give him grace in the respect that he made a public statement to humiliate me, and he won't respond to me. I'm not going to give him grace in the respect that he made a public statement to humiliate me, and he won't respond to me.
I will not post much more regarding this situation, but felt the need to respond to this direct allegation and make it known that I did not avoid her messages to me as she claimed. KJ, what you have done proves to me that even today you still lack respect for women. You could have spoken to me, but instead chose to publicly humiliate me. Thanks for that. Preacher Boy. Katie, respectfully, this has nothing to do with you being a woman. I have worked alongside many incredible women over the course of my show, and I was not out to humiliate you. I saw things that were troubling and chose to distance myself. I made a public appearance and felt the need to address that public appearance in a public setting. That is all. Some of my concerns are validated in that you removed your first few kind messages and then chose to send a more antagonistic message when you didn't get a prompt response. I take full responsibility for joining a live without doing more research. That was on me. I have said my piece. KJ was clearly not happy that Eric had put out multiple statements and then decided to tweet some more things. The men that have left the IBLP, some of them terrify me. I want to hear their stories, but so many of them are still misogynistic. I am also fearful of giving a platform to someone that may have abused, beeped, or harmed a woman or child. This cult is filled with dangerous men. Here's a reply on that tweet. She's actually trying to insinuate a genuine man she had on her Instagram live yesterday may be a beepist, all because he did some research on her problematic behavior and decided against having her on his show. This is the spiteful, vindictive Katie, all because she feels slighted. The last thing KJ tweeted regarding the situation was this: misogyny. Privilege is not knowing that you're hurting others and not listening when they tell you. Deshani Strokes. That was everything regarding the KJ and Preacherboys Eric situation. This might not be the last of it, but before we go, I have just a quick message from Preacherboys before he went live with KJ that night.
The Bible says to mourn with those who mourn and weep with those who weep. That means the best thing you could do when someone's sharing about a trauma or abuse they experienced in the church is to listen and be there for them, not to explain to them how they're supposed to handle it.
And lastly, a quick message from KJ before she requested Preacherboys Eric to go live with her.
So another thing I'm learning about these people is they're a bunch of grifters, and they've all found a way to monetize God, and they all have their own brand of ministry that they're selling to people. And so because of that, they want people to believe that whatever they're selling is going to work. And so their families have to be perfect. And when you monetize God on like rules, and you turn the Bible into a self-help group book, which was never written that way, you realize that these people are literally doing this not to evangelize. It's all about money. They all want money.
Thank you, KJ. But I'm pretty sure you're doing the same thing. At least Eric really wants to help those wanting to leave and get out. You, KJ, make it all about you and making money in the end. Thank you all for watching, and remember to like, comment how you feel about this situation, and subscribe to our channel. Love you all!